Yeah.
Fellas, so Belgium beat us 4-1.
Yeah.
It was a spanking, an absolute spanking. What was the biggest reason the U.S. men's national team lost against Belgium?
Fosh, you want to take this?
Yeah, I think. Look, I am proud of our boys for sure. This World Cup, but I think the best way to put it is that the moment was too big, and that sucks to say because they got through some pretty big moments. I think the opening game was a huge moment with a lot of pressure. I think going down 10 men against Bosnia was a big moment, a lot of pressure, a lot of adversity in that moment, and to overcome that was huge. But I think everybody watching the game kind of thought the same thing was this moment's too big because that's the only thing that kind of explains the performance. Because you watch the performance and it's like, well, like I know our guys are better than this. Yeah, that's the best US team we've ever had, but that's the worst US game I've ever watched. And the only explanation is that the moment was a little too big and Belgium was ready for it and our guys weren't. And that's like, again, I'm really, really proud of this team and I think this team is really good. But the moment was just too bright, I think.
It, Foss, it's sad because it felt like we actually regressed instead of progressed. Because if we rewind to the 2014 World Cup,
Look, I'm not proud of it, but, I'll say it just looked like there was levels to it. And it gave me a similar feel at a much larger scale to when we were chatting about how we were going for Japan against Brazil. And it just felt like, and this is hard to say, but it just felt like we never stood a chance in that game. That's what it felt like. I mean, maybe a miracle could have happened, but that's what it gave off, that it would have taken a miracle. And it kind of did put it in perspective as where reality still is with the game, because I would say that's not.
And
If that's what Belgium could do to us, then it would have been scary to see what Spain
like to that point though, like you say,
was going to be
that's
my
what
next
Belgium did
point.
to us. But
Yeah.
like I watched that game, and I totally agree that there wasn't a second where we looked better than Belgium. Now, like I think that on their day, if we put out a Paraguay performance or something like that, like where like we could have hung in there with Belgium and beat Belgium, but there wasn't. It's weird because there wasn't a second of that game that we looked better than Belgium, yet almost every goal that they scored was so self-inflicted, where it's like that. I think that makes it like all the more sour because it's.
Yeah.
I wish we could just put our hands up and say they're just better than us. You look at those goals, and man, are 3, if not 4 of them so preventable.
Is it a talent thing, guys?
Yeah.
Do you think that we didn't have the talent to compete with them?
I think it was more of they've been there before so many more times, and it's not just the World Cup. It's like big games. I remember like going to Europe and playing in academy teams, and it's just they feel so much more calm and cool and collected, like they've been in games so many times, and it's just felt more like a walkover game, and that they just had way more bags and bags of confidence than we did. I thought we've had so much confidence taking players on, playing with that energy all tournament long, and it kind of just went out the window a bit in this one. But I mean, going to that point of what Foss just said, and again, I couldn't be more proud of I still couldn't be more proud of the team. They did wonderful things for the sport. It was a joy it was a joy for the month. I'm not going to just flip the switch and be like, oh, this stinks now. Like, yes, it does stink, but there's still so much positive to the last month. But it just gave me the feel of one of those games where you're just dominating in the perspective of Belgium, and the coach is like, just don't foul. Like, the only way they're going to score is off a set piece. The only way they're going to score is and that's kind of like what it was. Like, there was no way I feel we were scoring in the wrong play.
If we were to play them 10 times...
No. That could be way
fair,
too negative.
Fair.
I don't know.
Betts and Foss, if we were to play them 10 times, how many do we win? because I think, and the reason I'm asking that is I think we need to be honest about yesterday. I can't say that we're more talented than Belgium, but I do know that last night was quite literally like the worst performance that we could put on. Like it's
Yeah.
hard to imagine things going worse.
Well, and
It's like
I think
it's like there were key players who just had their worst performance,
yeah.
not just of the World Cup. I don't think Matt Freese has made a mistake like that in his seasons with NYCFC ever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, and I think like one of the reasons it hurts so much is because you say how many times out of 10 do we beat them? And I don't know, like maybe 5. And that sounds insane to say after watching yesterday, but I do think that's probably right. Like I think it's a toss-up game. But I think the moment hurts so much is because it was at home and there was this swell of momentum leading up to this game where non-soccer fans were tuning in and everyone was joining the hype train. It was beautiful. And as soon as all the eyeballs were on it, got embarrassed. And that makes it
spanked,
so much worse.
destroyed. Like I was talking to I was sitting at dinner with my some of my cousins, and they're like put this loss in perspective, and I was like, this is like when the high school varsity team plays the JV team. It looked like a spanking, an embarrassment. And by the way, I think talent wise, I actually think we had the guys to win.
I do too.
I think the biggest reason we lost last night was actually because Flo Balogun played. And let me explain why. I think that the behind the stage Trump calling Infantino and us having this kind of sketch suspension of the suspension, it gave Belgium this fuel and this fire because they felt like there was cheating. They felt like there was an injustice against them. And you could tell they came out feeling like the world is against us and we're going to show these mother effers up. And it was evident. And the reason I hate that is because I actually think if Flo hadn't played, we would have had a chip on our shoulder. We would have actually been the ones that feel like, you know what, we got robbed. We should have our best guy out there. And secretly, like if we had lost without Flo, we could be sitting here right now being like, well, we lost 3-1, but we didn't have Flo. It wasn't our best roster wasn't out there. It would have given us some dignity. And instead what happened is all of this weird stuff happens behind the scenes. FIFA, it looks bad. Like no player has had a suspension lifted in World Cup history other than I think Garacho in the 1960s for Brazil, Ronaldo in this World Cup, and then Flo. And it looks bad. It looks sketch. I don't think that it's sketch. Like I think I get their reasoning, and I think there's like there's a legal argument to be made, but it gave Belgium a ferocity. Like there's no one of the most powerful fuels in the world is when you feel like someone has wronged you and you just have this like indignant, like, oh, okay, like I'm going to come out. It gives you a fire that it was clear to me that the Belgians had and we just didn't. And we came out flat and they came out ready to just murder us.
Yeah.